Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing a comprehensive review of speed ramps. I'm going to take you from the amateur level all the way to the pro level, the little details. If you need to know about speed ramps, this is the video for you. Actually, this intro is going to have two different types of speed ramps. See if you can pick them out. Hello, it is end of video Sterling. I just finished recording this and I just wanted to give you guys a heads up before you get into this. I am learning to do these tutorials. I am not very cohesive with it, so it's gonna take a little bit of work probably on your part, but there's a lot of little gold details in here that are going to set your speed ramps apart, and I hope you're able to pick up on those. And I will work on being more cohesive and explicating better in the future. Until then, best of luck. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I want to take you guys from amateur level speed ramps to pro level speed ramps. There's so many different types, there's so many little different details, there's different ways to do them. I'm going to show you my favorite ways to do them, and the tiny little details that you're missing that separates good speed ramps from pro speed ramps. This video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound. They are what I use for a lot of my music, and I highly recommend them if you want to give them a shot. They have incredible sound effects on their website. I use that all the time in my videos. That's actually one of my favorite features about Epidemic. I will leave a link below if you'd like to use that. That'll send a little back my way. But anyways, let's get into the video. We're talking speed ramps. You need to listen to the music or whatever the background is for the speed ramp. It's gonna tell you the type that you need to put. For example, okay, this is a cool video I did for a company. I'm really proud of this one. This one, again, she's moving slow, but I want everyone to know that she was actually walking fast and we've slowed this down. So you can see on the screen right here that we have a ramp leading into another one. And it doesn't seem like it would make much sense because this is a water scene, but if I speed the water scene into her speeding up and then slow it down, it gives your eye this change of pace. Videos can be boring if they don't have a change of pace or a change of feel or something different. And the same thing happens with music. If you listen to like EDM or any type of music, usually the second chorus will have something tiny different from the first chorus. It might be a hi-hat, it might be something else, but something a little bit different just to change it up and keep everything fresh. So when you add something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 frames of a little bit of a ramp makes all the difference in the world. So watch this right here. You'll see the water slow and speed up, then her speed up and slow down. It's so tiny, but without it, it feels empty. Let's see if we can find another one. Okay, here's another one right here. Let me see if I can find. Let's pull in the example without. Let's pull in the example without the speed ramp. That way we can kind of compare it. Okay, this looks like the portion right here. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a speed ramp right over top of this one, and I'm gonna show you how it works. Right click on the clip, go down to show clip keyframes, time remapping, and speed. This is gonna let us use keyframes on top of the clip. Then you just wanna find the moment that you want to speed ramp. For me, I try to speed ramp stuff that has the most movement. So in this shot, the most movement is probably like right through here, where her leg is just bending and and she's leaning forward and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna mark my speed ramp right here, and then I'm gonna drag this down to 20%. Since I shot in 120 frames per second, this means I have 5 times slow motion, which allows me to go down to 20% of the footage. Now I'm just gonna drag this out. And the typical rule of thumb for me is a speed ramp needs to be 4 frames long, at least for your eye to be able to notice there's movement. If it's shorter, you can barely notice it and it just looks like a jumble. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a speed ramp. Now it's not quite dramatic enough, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed up this other end so it's a little bit faster of a ramp. Okay, now we're kind of getting somewhere. Now you can see on this bottom one right here, we have a nice curve that is gonna let us basically let the ramp be a lot smoother than this top one right here. So what we can do is we can actually drag this out a little bit, get even, grab this bar, and do that. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna give it more of a swing. Instead of a decline from I'm going fast to I'm going slow, it's gonna let it like kind of whip into it, which is really nice. And if you can hear by the sound effect, that it kind of has that whoosh, like this like whipping sound. Let's listen to it really quick. To me, that tells me what type of ramp to do. Now typically also I would say you want your ramps to end on the beat, not to start on the beat. This one doesn't bother me for some reason. Certain ramps will definitely bother you if they don't end on the beat. this one doesn't seem to bother me. But now we have a speed ramp clip, so we can go from here. Okay, now I can tell it's too long because the sound of the whip is ending and my ramp is still happening. So I'm actually going to shorten this down a little bit, pull this back, and I would probably even do a shorter here. Let's see what this looks like. It's closer, not quite perfect. I think the reason that the original clip worked well for that is because by the time it got to here, like right about here in the ramp, it's already moving pretty slow. Yeah, so speed ramps are something that I first learned about when I started doing filmmaking, and I didn't realize how detailed they are and how important it was to get them right. And you have to be able to decide what the goal is. You have to decide what the goal is with the speed ramp. For a drop like this, we had to put these pants in the water, but they're not really splashing. You can tell that, like if we were watching this, they're kind of just being dipped, right? We're not getting any splash effects. But at the same time, with the music, listen to this music hit. It sounds like a splash. Let's see if we can turn this back up. Listen right here. It's got a splash vibe, which is a beat that I added in. So what I need to do to communicate the splash is I just need to speed up the part where the pants hit the water so it looks like an impact. So what I did, if you can see in the speed ramp right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, my magic number for speed ramps are going very, very fast, and then it's stopping, and when you're watching it, it looks like the clothing is slapping into the water, even though it's really, really not. So that's what I mean by paying attention to the different types of beats, the music, and listening to what the music's telling you to do with the speed ramp and make it match. And now when we watch it with the speed ramp, it looks like it, but it doesn't. It really was just being set in the water. Guys, this is my first time, I'm just gonna be honest, this is my first time doing these tutorial videos. I think I'm gonna be doing this more because you can probably tell I'm talking fast. I love talking about this stuff, but I'm still learning how to structure these videos to communicate best to you guys. So feedback on that would be nice. If you guys need ordered lists, if these are helpful, please let me know. If they're not, tell me how I can improve. And I have so much that I would like to show you guys, to teach you guys little details. So I realize this may not be the most cohesive tutorial, but I'm doing my best. So let's find some other speed ramps. They are, in video editing, guys, it's going to be all about details. If you guys are just getting started and just learning in Premiere or just learning in general, my tip to you, big advice, learn one thing at a time. Go and find out a tiny little detail like speed ramps, different types, and start implementing them into your videos. If you were to just learn 2 to 3 tricks a week in videography, over the course of a year, you have a huge tool belt, and the tool belt is the key for creativity. You can't be creative in Premiere when you don't know what anything does. When you can look at Premiere and see a giant workspace of tools and types and layers and stuff that you can do, then your brain begins to be able to make your own connections. Some of you talk about how you can't develop your own style, you don't know how to get your own style. Your tool belt is too small. You have a unique brain, and that in and of itself means that you have your own special kind of creativity. So all you need to do is have the tools in place so that your brain can connect dots and connect tools the way that your brain does, because no one else can do that, and that's your specialty. That's your unique selling point in videography and photography. Okay, here's another video. This one's unreleased, but by the time that this video goes up, then it should be released. So, alright, let's talk about these. These are very interesting type of speed ramps. Sometimes a way that you can utilize it is by just making people shift slightly to a beat. So I'm going to show you an example here. This is another one of those things that I say add to your tool belt, okay? So what we have here, if we listen to just the sound, listen to the beat right here. Dun, dun, dun. It's going to do twice right there. Right here. So you can see, now let's watch it with the video, what I created with it. There's bum, ba, ba. And if you watch with the speed ramps right here, take a look, you can see them right down here. Let's watch it again. Now watch the video, what it looks like. Right here. Tiny little details like that. Those are little speed ramps. Now what I did to build that, let's duplicate this. Let's just rebuild this. Our own version, okay? I feel like, for me, when I'm learning, the best way to learn is to watch someone do something or even try to do it myself. Hang on, let me get rid of these keyframes. Wow, wow. So let's start with clip, just a base clip, right? Right here. Okay, that's how fast the clip is. This is normal speed. That's how fast the model worked. Model did the video. We're gonna right click, show clip keyframes, time remapping, speed. Okay, great. Now that we're here, we need to make sure the window on the left is big enough for us to be able to see this triangle so that we can put in the keyframes. So we're gonna start off right here. And what I'm gonna do is I wanna find that motion spot right here, right? If I were to take this down to 20% right now, there's not a ton of motion. But as soon as he turns his foot right there, that's where I'm getting the most motion. So I'm gonna take this clip, put it right here. Actually, I need to put this back to 100%. Oops. 100%, put it back here. Now I'm going to find that little spot, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right about there would be a good place to start my ramp, so I'm gonna go a couple frames back, just for safety. And I'm gonna put in my keyframe. After I put in my keyframe, I'm gonna drop it down to 20%. And I'm gonna shoot for my classic 4 wide keyframe, or 4 wide ramp. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just about right. Elongate that. Now let's watch. Okay, we got a little bit of a ramp here. Why is it glitching? Hang on, let me just turn this off. Maybe it's this. Yeah. Okay, so we got a speed ramp. It matches the beat. And you can hear again, listen to that beat. It's giving us enough time. You want the ramp to dun with the beat instead of just like dum. Remember we talked about the splashes? This isn't a splash beat. This is a curved beat. Okay, sweet. So we got the beginning, not quite right. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit to give it a little more smack to it. And then I am going to just line this up with the one below, right here, just to make sure. Okay, good. Now what we're gonna do, find the next beat. Okay, this time, with these kind of beats, the ramps need to stop on the beat. This is a big mistake that I see a lot of people make. When you hear a beat right here, right there, that beat, people will start their ramps, which can work in some cases, but in most cases, when you hear a beat go boom, it's making you feel like you're stopped. It's a hit. It's not the start of something, except for this case, it's the start. And then these ones are stops, dum, dum, okay? So what we're gonna do is find that little spot. Okay, good, so there's where we need to stop. So I'm going to pick this spot right here. I'm gonna start a keyframe, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find where I want my video to end. So I want them to be tiny movements, maybe to like right here. I'm gonna add another keyframe, and then I'm gonna shorten it, and I'm building this little, see that? Now I'm just gonna line it up with the beat. There's the beat. Okay, not that hard. Now, I probably could have gone a little further. So maybe let's delete this and let's actually put it over here so I have a little more, something to ramp. Okay, now it's a little much. I want your eyes to be able to follow it. So let's go back, because these are tiny little beats. Right about here. Okay, there's the beat. So I'm lining up my cursor right here with the beat. You can hear it hit. And then now I'm just gonna drag this until it lines up. Now this would work. That's one part of it, right? So now we have this. 2 beats done. What you should do if you're doing it properly, which apparently I got lazy right here, is give them a little bit of a ramp still. This is again a tiny detail that most people wouldn't notice, but is probably worth your time, although I am somewhat of a hypocrite here apparently. So now it's time to add that third one. So let's go over here, find the beat again. There's the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going 4 frames back. Clicking on a keyframe. I'm gonna extend this a little bit, and now I'm going to go to maybe right here, add another keyframe, speed this up until it lines up with the beat. There's the beat. Okay, zoom in. Now we have a little more. Another speed ramp. This one's not long enough. Oops. I want it to be a little longer, even though it's gonna go out of frame, just for learning purposes. Let's go like here. 9, let's go a little further because that's not quite far enough. 1, okay, drag this up right here. That's too much. Too much. Let's go like here. Right there. Okay, good. So now this isn't quite perfect. I wouldn't do these exact frames, but now you can see what we've just created to a beat. It's done. Oh, also we forgot to, on the back end, throw this down to 20%. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with speed ramps, and this is another little tool. When you're hearing a beat in a song going, what can I add there? You know, that's what I did for right here. I'm trying to listen to the song and say what clips I could put. So many different effects I could do, or I can just have these subtleties that you go, oh, like, that just switches it up a little bit. So let's watch it now. If we were to watch through here, let's turn this layer back on. Let's just delete this for a second. Okay, now for this one, bonus tip guys, what I would do, since I'm losing my frame right here, what I would do probably is nest this sequence. This is gonna be, maybe, if I can nest it, nest, yes. And now I'm just gonna keyframe some of the position. So maybe, oh, I can't. We have to do it this weird way because Premiere is weird. Let's go right there. Let's make that work. Now we're gonna nest. I'm gonna bring this in. Please work. Okay, great. Now we're gonna zoom this in. One more, 220. Okay, now we're gonna start here. I'm gonna keep in my position, and then maybe what I do is I'm just gonna go to the end where my thing stops, and I'm just gonna move the clip over to here. So now maybe we can follow it. Okay, now we didn't lose our frame. Now it looks pretty dope. Guys, that's a good example of having a tool in your tool belt to be able to utilize it when you need it. So you need to build up a big repertoire of tiny little things that you've learned how to do. Don't be overwhelmed by the amount that there is to learn. One thing at a time, and you will see this is the key to learning. Tiny little adjustments like this here and there are going to separate you from everyone else. That's what's going to get you jobs. That's what's going to get you clients. That's what's going to get you paid. Pay attention to the details, and I'm just giving random advice now. Anytime you work for a client, you have to put yourself in the mindset that you are trying to make the best thing that you've made, and it's hard because you're not always inspired. You have to, I don't know, you got to be able to build that in and learn to be creative. This is an idea, for example. I'm off topic. At the beginning of this video, but when I was making this, I was just trying to think of like what's something I can do to make it a little different. And these are all tools in my tool belt. I didn't have to look up a tutorial on how to do this. I grabbed a old vintage overlay, I put it on top. I added added some light leaks so you can see the oranges kind of fading in. And then I just added this sound effects, which we can listen to. Lay it over some music, add the logo, and then also the music has a low cut filter on it. That way it sounds like it's like sparkly, I don't know, whatever. And all of this can be overwhelming, guys. I know, because I am trying to learn some stuff right now too. I'm trying to learn to create music. I'm terrible at it, and it's reigniting my passion for teaching because I didn't realize all these little details that I knew that I want to share with you guys. And I hope that that is helpful. Again, I know that this is kind of all over the place video, probably hard to follow. I hope you guys are able to find some tips in there. I'm gonna be working on structuring these out a little bit better. I would love to see you guys over on my Instagram where you guys can see my work. Yeah, I guess I will catch you guys in the next video.